student loan debt issue continues to get worse. In fact, if you have a federal student loan, you could notice that interest rates are going to go up significantly. So for existing federal student loans, you will still enjoy the 3.4% interest rate. However, for all new student loans that the federal government grants, people will have to pay 6.8% in interest. So as you noticed, the interest rate did double, and the reason why that happened is because lawmakers have not reached an agreement by the July 1st deadline. They've already taken their time off for the July 4th holiday, and so since they couldn't come to an agreement, sorry, all new federal student loans are going to have a significant increase in their interest rates.
I wonder how much this is going to screw the government in terms of the interest that they're actually going to be planning to make off of these students, because they're basically doubling their subsidized interest rate. Well, unsubsidized loans or private loans, I wonder if they'll start to become more competitive and kids are going to be going outside of these governmental avenues to actually borrow.
That might happen. For the moment being, I know that private loans, like banks that give out loans, have significantly higher interest rates.
Who sets these things? Like, why is it that you can buy a house, like a home mortgage is like 3%?
Yeah, the reason why
a student loan rate is like 7 now.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that I don't even know how they come up with the interest rate for homes.
We just have effed up priorities in this country.
We do.
Like, to be a homeowner is the end-all, be-all of American success. But to attend a university, in a lot of European countries, like I had friends in Germany who were like, we don't pay for school. So what do you mean you don't pay for school? Well, everybody they do like civic duty. They actually enlist in the military, but it's like a community military. And I remember asking one friend, so what was your service to your country? Like, did you have to fight? And he's like, no, I worked in a coffee shop. Like, he worked at a university coffee shop 15 hours a week while he was going at school. He didn't get paid, but he got his tuition remissed.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Can you imagine?
I can't imagine. That is
but
amazing.
That's socialism, so we should probably stay away from that.
It sounds way better than having $150,000 in student loan debt for an undergrad.
I know, we have such effed up priorities.
But I like that you brought up, the amount of money the federal government makes, because last year alone, the U.S. government made $51 billion in interest over these student loans. And I think it's a little ridiculous that you're using college students as a way to, gain revenue for the country.
And how much was the stimulus? I mean, can you imagine what kind of a stimulus this would be if student loan debt was relieved for a full year? If the federal government said, okay, we're going to take the amount of money that we would have made off of this, we're going to relieve that as part of our stimulus bill.
Yeah.
That to me seems like a more reasonable way to stimulate the economy. Think about how many people would enroll in institutions of higher learning.
Yeah.
Think about how many people would actively pursue an education.
And also another thing that people don't keep in mind enough is how important the middle class is to a thriving economy. These are the people, I know, these are the people that go out there and they buy the goods and services. This is like the demand part of our economy, right? These are the people that spend the money. And when you have college graduates that have so much debt that they are barely making it paycheck to paycheck because they have to pay their student loan payments, I mean, they're not going to be able to contribute much to the economy.
And it's not like there's much motivation to even get a degree anymore. So many kids get out of school and they don't have any options.
Absolutely.
I mean, unemployment is by far the highest amongst recent graduates.
I believe it's around 13%.
It's insane.
For college graduates. So it's very, very bad. And I remember reading a story. They profiled the story of a surgeon. She had just graduated, she finished residency, and she was successful. She was making a lot of money, but because of the debt that she had acquired throughout her education, she was unable to buy a home. So it's actually impacting home sales as well, because these highly educated professionals have so much debt that they don't qualify for a home loan or whatever.
Our own president, wasn't that a big part of his 2008 platform? He was talking about how he and Michelle had only just recently paid off their student. I remember that was like a huge talking point for him.
Yeah.
We're lawyers and it took us this long to even pay off our student loan debt and that's unacceptable and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, he started off by lowering the interest rate for federal loans.
Yeah.
But obviously our lawmakers can't come to an agreement, so that agreement has now expired. But I should note that they might have a, excuse me, lawmakers might consider a retroactive fix on July 10th. So they might come back to this and they might come to an agreement, but I wouldn't hold my breath.
I think this is one of those cases where it is really important to start speaking up. It's really important for students who like historically have not been that involved in the political process to be reaching out to their representatives and to be saying something about how fucked they feel like their future is.
Yeah.